Imagine waking up to find out that the birth control that you rely on has suddenly become unaffordable or simply unavailable. Across the United States, millions of women are now facing that exact reality. Why? Because of the budget cuts from the Trump regime. Let's talk about Title X. For the last 50 or 60 years, Title X has ensured free or low-cost contraception to those who most needed it. The federal program was enacted, I believe, under President Nixon, and it provided close to $286 million in the 2025 budget, $286 million in the 2025 budget. And that was to support health clinics all across the country, which in turn helped 800,000 people annually. But because of Donald Trump's regime and their budget cuts, yeah, funds are being withheld from organizations like Planned Parenthood and its affiliates with little to no warning, which has forced some of these clinics across the country to either shut down or stop providing birth control to millions of women across the country. And before I go further, let me remind you, this too was in Project 2025. This is sad. Who will be the hardest hit? The hardest hit will be low-income women, young people, people in marginalized communities, including members of the LGBTQ plus community, and sexual assault survivors. All of these individuals relied on these clinics for access to this type of care. For many, these services are not just about preventing pregnancy, but about managing other medical conditions and maintaining basic health and autonomy over their lives. I know that for years I took birth control pills because it helped to regulate my period. It helped to minimize the flow. It helped with the severe cramping. And so for years, I took birth control pills for that reason and that reason alone. And there are thousands of other women across the country who take birth control pills to help them deal with other medical conditions. But 53% of white women voted for Trump and his regime. But it doesn't stop there. No. With Donald Trump and his regime, cruelty is the point, and the cruelty has to go to the extreme. So the budget cuts won't just be limited to Title X. Recent Republican-led spending bills also will slash Medicaid, which will further jeopardize women's access to birth control and access to general health care, which compounds the issues. Some states are rolling back coverage of effective contraceptions like IUDs and condoms and replacing them with less effective fertility awareness methods. They're going to tell you, stop doing that. Wait till marriage. But we all know, the reason why this was put in Project 2025, it's because of their dwindling numbers. They want more white babies. And so in order to get more white babies, they want to cut your access to preventing becoming pregnant with the white babies. We tried to tell you. But in researching this story, I'm sure you're not surprised, as I wasn't surprised, that, of course, a lawsuit has already been filed challenging the Trump regime and what it is that they are trying to do. More than 800,000 women either lost access or are at risk of losing access to contraceptions, leading to increased rates of unintended pregnancies and potentially unsafe abortions. And so that is the premise of the lawsuits that are being filed in court to challenge Trump and his regime. Now, of course, Donald Trump and his regime, they don't have much to say about what their intent is in cutting access to birth control. But I just told you, I gave you my opinion on why he's cutting access to birth control. But in the end, what is happening is that they are building a society where controlling your reproductive future is increasingly out of our reach. America losing access to birth control is not just a policy debate. It's a direct threat to our health, freedom, and economic security. So with that said, I'm just the messenger. I'm just here to spread awareness. Hopefully you'll share this video with somebody else so that they'll know what is going on. They're coming for your birth control. Yes, and this was in Project 2025.